The first problem is to do with the way the ballot unit is linked to the control unit via the VVPAT machine and not linked directly. Can you explain why is this a problem?
There are two problems here. One problem has to do with the constitutionality of the whole thing, and the other problem is to do with the technicality of the whole thing. So let me try to speak to both. As far as the constitutionality is concerned, when I have a duty to vote and I have a right to vote, it means I have a right to vote directly, which means I put my own ballot in the ballot paper box in old times, or in today's times, my vote should go directly from the ballot unit to the counting unit where it is going to be stored. Anybody or anything coming in between is a violation of this right that I have. It is like me stamping my ballot paper and giving it to you or a friend saying that please put it in the ballot box. The moment I give it to you or anybody else, I have lost control over my voting. Because
Just
I would not.
Can I just clarify for the audience? What you're saying is because the VVPAT machine exists between the ballot unit and the control unit, when you vote, your vote is not going directly to the control unit, it is going via the VVPAT machine. It ought
Correct.
to go directly, but it is going through an intermediary, the intermediary being the VVPAT machine. Have I
Correct.
understood that correctly?
Absolutely. So I'll give you an example on the technicality of it now. When I press, let's say I am a voter, I walk in and I press a yellow vote on my ballot unit. The yellow vote, which is an electronic vote now, transmits itself or is transferred from the ballot unit to the VVPAT. VVPAT recognizes this yellow vote as a yellow vote, prints a yellow receipt, which I see and say, this is correct, this is what I voted for. Thereafter, VVPAT can transfer a gray vote instead of my yellow vote to the control unit, and I will have never seen that gray vote. So I do not know what VVPAT further transfers to the control unit. That is a fundamental problem. Now we have to ask ourselves.
Can I again interrupt?
Sure.
Because I think it's important the audience should understand this. We can verify what we voted because the VVPAT will produce the receipt of what we voted and we can see that it's exactly the same. To use your example, you send a yellow vote, you can see the yellow receipt, so you know that the VVPAT has received your yellow vote. What you don't know is what the VVPAT sends on in turn to the control unit. And because you don't know it, that is where potentially some mischief could happen.
Correct. And there is ample room to do that. Again, one reason is VVPAT is actually the weakest link of the whole arrangement because ballot unit and control unit are location agnostic. They have been randomized 3 times before they come to the voting, the place where the voter interacts with them. So they don't really care. They don't even know which location they are in terms of their programming and in terms of the way they process data. Whereas VVPAT is not so. It is location specific. Just about 10 to 15 days before the actual voting takes place, candidate specific data, the list of the candidates, is uploaded on the in the VVPAT using what the Election Commission calls as the symbol upload module. So the process as it goes is people authorized by the Election Commission connect to the Election Commission's website, download the specific symbol upload module for the constituency in which they are going to operate. Take this laptop, connect it to the VVPAT, and then upload this data using the symbol upload module in that VVPAT machine.
Quite
Now,
right.
this is where a lot of things can go wrong.
To use the language you used in your Indie Chat podcast, as you said there, the control unit and the ballot unit are randomized. They will work anywhere and everywhere in any constituency, whether it is Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh. but the VVPAT is customized specifically for each constituency. As a result, when the vote travels from the ballot unit to the control unit via the VVPAT machine, there is the possibility of tampering with it, because in between two randomized units is a customized unit for that constituency specifically. Have I understood that
Absolutely.
correctly?
And absolutely. And it's not just that that unit per se would not be a problem if that unit did not have a program. It has a program written specifically to recognize what vote has come in, map it onto the candidate list so that it can print appropriate symbol on the paper. So there is a program inside which reads the data fed to it through the symbol upload module and also the data that has come in from the ballot unit. Now, there are multiple
But this
possibilities.
is again very important. The VVPAT is actually a unit with a program, and the program is designed to read the vote you send with the person that the vote is for, his party or her party, his face or her face. That programming can be tampered with. Am I right in suggesting that?
So programming doesn't have to be tampered with. The program behavior can be altered with additional data. So there are multiple ways. I'll give you a simple example. Imagine this data that is uploaded in the VVPAT in the form of a spreadsheet or Excel, as we popularly call it. Let's say it has 3 columns: the number of the candidate, the name of the candidate, and the symbol of the candidate. Or maybe if you like the party name, 4 columns, including the party name. Let us say that in front of a candidate that one wants to favor, as a 5th column, I just put an asterisk so that the program is already written to recognize the asterisk and put the 3rd or 5th or whatever vote in favor of that candidate, irrespective of what vote has been received.
This is again very important. If you add, just to take your example further, if you add that asterisk to the programming, it can ensure that the 3rd vote or the 5th vote or every 7th vote, every 3rd vote, every 5th vote or every 7th vote goes to a preferred candidate rather than the candidate you voted for. So something as simple as an asterisk added to the program can
Not the program, not the program, the data.
To the data.
Yeah.
So something as simple as an asterisk added to the data can ensure that every 3rd, 5th, 7th, 11th, or 12th, whatever you want, vote goes to the preferred candidate rather than the candidate you vote for. That is how the manipulation will happen.
Yes, it can easily take place that way. And in this, the beauty, if you will, of this is that even the person who uploads this data from the symbol upload unit into the VVPAT would be completely unaware of anything because he doesn't see the data. He or she doesn't see the data. They just execute that program and the data gets uploaded.
And this is a classic case of manipulation, not of hacking.
Absolutely.
And it happens at the VVPAT stage.
Yes.
But if the control unit and the voting unit, the ballot unit, were linked directly rather than through the VVPAT, this could be eliminated.
Exactly. So the preferred topology or the arrangement of these 3 units should be the ballot unit is at the center and it communicates simultaneously the same signal to the VVPAT and the control unit. So as a voter, when I press a button of, let's say, yellow vote or a blue vote, that blue vote simultaneously goes to the control unit and to the VVPAT. VVPAT will then print, it will process as it is doing now. It will process the vote, print a blue receipt, I'll be happy. And because the VVPAT is no more connected to the CU or the control unit in any way, my vote will be transparently given or transferred to the control unit.
In other words, this is a very easy situation to remedy. All you
Absolutely.
need to do is to put the ballot unit at the center rather than the VVPAT. And the ballot unit simultaneously, as you said, will give its signal both to the VVPAT, which will produce a receipt as proof of the way I voted, and to the control unit, which will record the vote. It will be the
Absolutely.
same signal that will go to both simultaneously. And therefore, the situation can easily be remedied by putting the ballot unit at the center rather than the VVPAT at the center.
You're absolutely right. You got it.
I'll just underline that. We've identified a very critical way in which manipulation can happen. Depending upon the data that's fed into the program, you can ensure that every third, fifth, seventh, 12th, or whatever vote you want is given to a preferred candidate. But we've also identified how easily this can be remedied by putting the ballot unit at the center rather than the VVPAT. In other words, there is a problem, but the solution is straightforward and easy.
You said it right. Absolutely. Straightforward and easy.